My name is Mosammat Muna. I'm a sophomore at Murrow High School. I did an experiment to see the effect of chromium picolinate on the rate of photosynthesis, respiration, and cell structure of Eladia hundensis. Basically, I did this experiment to see how pharmaceutical drug like chromium picolinate is affecting aquatic organism like Eladia hundensis. I decided to do this experiment because the pharmaceutical drugs that enter in the rivers and other water have been negatively affecting aquatic organisms. This can lead to a serious problem because the organisms that are being affected by the drugs are home to macro and micro invertebrates and are part of our ecosystem. So how do the pharmaceutical drugs get into our water system? In the picture, you can see the pharmaceutical drug from our home enter into the water, which is affecting the organism living there and also the organism living on the ground, like the cow. In my experiment, I used chromium picolinate, which is a dietary supplement. There are several uses of chromium picolinate. Some people use chromium picolinate to treat chromium deficiencies, blood sugar, obesity, and depression. I also use Eladia hundensis, which look like this over here. Eladia hundensis is an aquatic plant and is mainly found in fresh water. Eladia hundensis is either water with oxygen due to its high rate of respiration. It also provides home to macro and micro invertebrates. In my experiment, I hypothesized that if the concentration of chromium picolinate increase, then the photosynthesis and respiration rate of Eladia hundensis will decrease, and higher concentration of chromium picolinate will cause aplastic, which is the space outside of the plasma membrane, to turn into acidic in Eladia hundensis leaves. In order to do my experiment, first I dissolved 3 different concentrations of chromium into 215 mils of flux separately, as you can see over here. Then I placed small puppets into the holes of the tube stopper. So later in my experiment, I can use that to find the volume of oxygen gas that was being formed. Then after that, I placed 8 Eladia hundensis into the tubes. Then I placed the tubes near light so it can absorb energy. So I did my experiment for 15 days. After my 15 days of experiment end, I found that higher concentration of chromium picolinate lowered the volume of oxygen gas that was being formed, and concentration of chromium picolinate greater than 215 mcg will cause the Eladia hundensis plant to die because the rate of photosynthesis and cellular respiration are decreased. However, a minimum of 215 concentration of chromium picolinate are required for the healthy growth of Eladia hundensis, because plants like Eladia hundensis need metal like chromium to grow, but having too much of this metal can lead to their death. After I finished my 15 days of experiment, I cut the leaves of the Eladia hundensis and placed it under microscopes where I saw the cell structure, which image you can see over here. In the image of control group, which contained only water, you can see that the cell plasma membrane is clean, but as the concentration of chromium picolinate increase, you can see the color change into the cell structure, which indicate the presence of acid into the aplastic. As I mentioned, is the plasma membrane, is outside of the plasma membrane. So I believe doing this kind of experiment is important for our environment because we can use the result of this experiment to find a better solution to improve the living condition of the aquatic organisms. And I hope that we stop dumping pharmaceutical drugs into the waters, because the drugs can damage a plant to a point where it can lead to their death. And I hope that we all work together to stop dumping pharmaceutical drugs into our water and find a better solution to improve our aquatic organisms. I would like to thank my teacher, Ms. Chen, for her patient guidance in my experiment. Without her, doing this experiment will be impossible for me. And thank you, everyone.